Every time I scroll LinkedIn, I count at least 4 to 5 posts about how AI is going to transform HR forever. One person says every HR department will be fully automated within 3 years. Another person says that AI will replace 60% of HR functions by 2027. A third person posts a carousel about the top 10 AI tools every HR leader must adopt now. Do you know what all of those posts had in common? Not a single one was written by someone who has actually run HR at a 50-person startup. Not a single one. They were written by consultants selling AI tools, influencers chasing engagement, and people who have never sat across from a founder trying to figure out whether they can afford their next hire. So let's have an honest conversation about what AI actually means for a small startup HR team based on what's real, what is useful, and what's just noise. Welcome to another episode of the Organized Chaos Podcast. I'm Nahat Kerala, your host, and today I'm going to be talking about the AI hype machine, and specifically as it relates to HR at startups at around 50 employees. If you're a solo HR person or on a tiny people ops team and you feel like you're falling behind because you haven't adopted 15 AI tools yet, take a breath. You're probably fine. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly where to start, where to wait, and what to ignore entirely. So let's get into it. I want to start by addressing why the conversation about AI and HR is so distorted right now. LinkedIn has become an echo chamber where the loudest voices on AI are the people who benefit most from you believing AI will change everything overnight. I'm specifically talking about the SaaS companies that sell AI-powered HR tools, the consultants who want to sell you an AI readiness assessment or course, and influencers who know that any post with AI in the title is going to get 3 times the engagement. The result is a constant stream of content that makes it sound like if you haven't implemented AI across your entire HR function, you're already behind. That narrative is misleading, and for a small startup HR team, following it could actually do more harm than good. So let's talk about why. A McKinsey Global Institute report from 2024 estimated that while AI could automate components of roughly 60 to 70% of current work activities across all industries, only about 5% of all occupations can be fully automated with current technology. The keyword here is components. That distinction matters enormously. Yes, AI can automate parts of many HR tasks. But automating a component of a task and eliminating the need for a human to manage that task are completely different things. When you're an HR team of 1 at a 50-person company, you don't need to automate 70% of your job. You need to automate the specific tasks that eat your time without adding strategic value. And that list is much shorter and more specific than LinkedIn would have you believe. Let me break down AI use cases in startup HR into 3 categories. Real and useful today, promising but wait, and just pure hype. So let me start with category 1, which is the real and useful today. First, you have drafting and editing written content. This is the most immediately practical use of AI for a small HR team. Job descriptions, offer letter templates, policy first drafts, internal comms, onboarding documentation, and similar work. AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini are genuinely good at generating first drafts that you can then take and edit and customize. For a solo HR person who writes dozens of documents per month, this can save you anywhere from 5 to 10 hours per week. And I've seen this work firsthand. For example, one HR manager I work with at a Series A startup was spending anywhere from 2 to 3 hours on every job description because she was writing them from scratch each time. I helped her create an AI tool to generate the first draft based on different inputs from herself and the hiring manager that included the role requirements, team context, compensation range, and more. Now, she spends no more than 30 minutes editing. That's a real time savings on a real task, and the quality of the output is much better than what she was producing manually. Another example is screening and summarizing applicant materials. AI can scan resumes and cover letters and produce structured summaries that highlight relevant experience against your specific job requirements. This works today and saves time, especially when you're reviewing 100 plus applications per role, but you need to check the output. AI screening tools have documented bias issues, and at a startup where every hire matters disproportionately, you cannot afford to let an algorithm filter out a great candidate just because the resume format didn't match the training data. A third example is data analysis and reporting. If you're tracking HR metrics, AI can help you analyze trends, create visualizations, and draft narrative summaries of your HR data. This is useful and saves time. It can turn like a 4-hour monthly reporting exercise into a 1-hour review and edit. So, in short, the real and useful today use cases generally revolve around data analysis, consolidating information, summarizing input, and so on. So let's move to category 2, which I call the promising but wait. And I have two under this category. First is AI-powered performance management tools. Several platforms now claim to use AI to analyze performance patterns, predict attrition risk, and suggest development plans. The technology is improving and very promising, but the data requirements are very steep for it to work properly. These tools need large data sets to produce reliable predictions. And at a 50-person company, your dataset is just too small for meaningful pattern recognition. The models work better when you're at 500 plus employees. Below that threshold, you're getting predictions based on insufficient data, which is worse than no prediction at all. Second is AI chatbots for employee self-service. The idea of an AI-powered HR chatbot that answers employee questions about benefits, PTO, policies, and procedures is appealing, and the technology exists today and it works very well. Most of the major HR tech vendors like Bamboo HR and Rippling already have this. But for a team of 50 employees, the implementation cost and maintenance overhead usually outweigh the benefits. Your employees can walk over to your desk or just Slack you. Also, you're only going to get a handful of questions every now and then. This type of implementation only makes sense if your documentation is robust, up-to-date, and supported by a thorough FAQ that tackles most common questions. A chatbot makes sense at 200 plus employees when the volume of repetitive questions justifies the investment and the time commitment to keep all the informational collateral up to date so the AI chatbot functions properly. Category 3 is the pure hype, at least for startups your size. AI-first operating systems that claim to replace your entire HR tech stack. Companies like Lena AI, Darwinbox, and a growing list of startups are building platforms that promise to consolidate your HRIS, ATS, performance management, and payroll into one AI-powered system. These are real functioning products with a growing customer base. But here's the problem for you specifically. Most of them are optimized for companies with 200 or more employees. Their integrations with the tools you're already using, like Gusto, Greenhouse, and Rippling, are often shallow or completely non-existent. And the switching cost of ripping out your current stack to adopt a platform that's still finding its footing is a gamble that a 50-person startup can't afford to lose. These products will probably mature into something worth evaluating in 2 to 3 years when your size and workload justify it. But right now, for your stage, the proven tools that already work with your workflows are the smarter bet. Another one that I place under the hype category is AI for compensation benchmarking. Several tools claim to use AI to provide real-time compensation data. But the reality is that compensation data quality depends on the source data and has nothing to do with the algorithm processing it. If the underlying dataset is limited or biased, which many are for startup stage roles, then no amount of AI processing will give you reliable benchmarks. Traditional sources like Pave and Carta's Total Comp remain more trustworthy for startup compensation data because their datasets are specifically built for your stage. So this brings me to the following question. What should a solo HR person do about AI? LinkedIn is screaming at you about AI. Your CEO is forwarding you articles about how AI will replace HR. So what are you supposed to do with all that? Here's what I recommend. First, audit your time. Before you adopt any AI tool, spend 2 weeks tracking how you spend your hours. Categorize every task into 3 buckets. Strategic, which are the things that require your judgment, relationships, and context. Administrative, meaning things that are repetitive, process-driven, and follow clear rules. And reactive, things that are interruptions, ad hoc requests, and firefighting. Most solo HR people I work with find that 50 to 60% of their time will fall in the administrative bucket. 20% to 30% will be reactive, and only about 10 to 20% will be strategic. That ratio needs to flip for you to be effective in a startup. And the good news is that AI can help flip it, but only if you target the right tasks. The second step I want you to do is automate the administrative bucket first. Start with the 3 real and useful today applications I outlined earlier: content drafting, applicant screening, and data analysis type work. These are the tasks that eat your time without requiring your unique judgment. Get AI doing the first pass, and then you do the editing, review, and strategic interpretation. Third, I want you to build a personal prompt library. This is an underrated productivity move for HR professionals using AI. Create a document with 20 to 30 pre-written prompts for your most common tasks, or create them as skills in your preferred AI tool. Or if you want to go the extra mile, use a tool like Zapier, Make, or N8N to build agents around these tasks. When each prompt, skill, or agent includes your company context, your preferred format, and your quality standards, AI becomes dramatically more useful. Fourth, resist the tool stack explosion. Every week there's a new AI-powered HR tool that we hear about. Resist the urge to try all of them. For a team of one, every new tool you adopt adds onboarding time, context switching, and another login to manage. Worst of all, it creates tool sprawl, and your data is going to be dispersed across many tools, which is lost context for an AI model to operate properly. So pick 2 or 3 AI applications that directly reduce your administrative load and stick with them until they're fully embedded in your workflow. Then evaluate whether you need more. Fifth, educate your CEO. If your CEO is excited about AI, and many of them are, show them the specific tasks where AI is saving you time and the dollar value of those savings. Show them where you're reinvesting that time into strategic work, and be honest about where AI is overhyped. Most CEOs respect the person who gives them the unvarnished truth more than the person who tells them what they want to hear. Now let's make this more concrete with a 3-month AI adoption plan for a startup HR team. In month 1, focus on content drafting activities. Start using AI to generate first drafts of your job descriptions, your policies, and internal comms. Set up your prompt library or skills with templates for your most common document types and track time savings. This is low risk, it is high return, and it builds your confidence with the AI tools you've adopted. In month 2, shift your focus to other tasks, maybe like applicant screening. If you're actively hiring, introduce AI-assisted resume screening. Use it to generate structured summaries of each applicant against your job requirements. Maybe use it to also draft interview questions, but always review the output manually. Measure whether it improves your screening speed without sacrificing candidate quality, and make prompt adjustments to iterate and improve the output. In month 3, I want you to transition to data and reporting. Use AI to help analyze your HR metrics, generate trend summaries, and create presentation-ready slides for your leadership team. By this point, you'll have a clear picture of where AI is helping and where it's adding friction. After 3 months, assess the impact of your AI implementation. How many hours per week has AI freed up? What are you doing with that time? Has the quality of your output improved, stayed the same, or declined? Based on those answers, decide whether to expand your AI usage or hold steady for now. That's it. You don't need a massive transformation or to rip out your HR tech stack. All you need is a structured and practical approach to getting the real benefits of AI without getting distracted by all the hype. Here's what I want you to do this week. Step 1, do the time audit. Track your hours for the next 2 weeks and categorize everything as strategic, administrative, or reactive. It is very important that you start here because you cannot optimize what you don't measure. Step 2, sign up for one AI tool if you haven't already. ChatGPT Plus or Claude Pro are the most versatile for HR use cases, but Google Gemini is also great if your company already uses Google Workspace. You're spending no more than $20 per month at this point, and the ROI will be obvious within your first week. Step 3, write your first 5 prompts. Start with the tasks you do most frequently, like a job description prompt, an offer letter prompt, a policy draft prompt, maybe a meeting notes summarizer, or an employee FAQ generator. Include your company context and preferred format in each prompt. Step 4. Set a 30-day review date. Block 30 minutes on your calendar 1 month from today. Use that time to evaluate what's working, what's not, and whether you need to adjust your approach. And step 5, if your CEO brings up AI, be ready. Have a one-page summary of where you're using AI, the time savings so far, and your 90-day plan. Being proactive and data-driven about AI adoption is one of the easiest ways to build credibility with your leadership team right now. So in closing, here's what I want you to take away from this episode. AI is a tool, and a very useful one. I rely on it every day, and I help my customers implement it within their people functions. But the people on LinkedIn telling you it will transform your entire HR function overnight are either selling something or have never managed HR at a startup. The reality is more practical and more powerful. AI is best at handling the repetitive, time-consuming tasks that keep you stuck in administrative mode. If you adopt it strategically, starting with content drafting, screening, and data analysis, you can reclaim 5 to 10 hours per week easily and reinvest that time in the strategic work that actually moves your company forward. With that type of work, AI can act as your brainstorming tool and help you refine your work, but it cannot effectively replace what you do, at least not yet. When compared to most HR people out there, I can confidently say that I'm highly advanced with AI implementation, and it's integrated into most of my day-to-day work in some shape or form. But I can also confidently say that AI is incapable of replacing strategic HR professionals, at least today. And if I'm being honest, I think it'll be a very long time before that happens. The amount of context and information that AI needs to fully replace a job without human input is astronomically high. Plus, you have the nuances, the relationships, and other human-specific factors that AI is missing. I'm telling you all of this to say, don't let the hype machine make you feel that you've fallen behind. You're not behind. You're just being smart about where you invest your limited time and resources. And that's exactly what a great HR professional at a startup does. And that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe for more content and share with your network. I'll see you on the next episode.